From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and Akashvani, this is Stumped.
Hello, I'm Alison Mitchell in London and welcome to Stumped. I'm joined from Sydney by the ABC's Jim Maxwell and Charu Sharma from Akashvani is in Baroda this week. Now, England lead the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy 1-0 after Ben Duckett hit a magnificent 149 as England chased down a record target of 371 to beat India by 5 wickets. On the final day, it could have been a nerve-jangling final day at Headingley, but England ended up relatively cruising to their targets. Well, coming up, we'll be joined by Indian wicketkeeper K.S. Bharat. But first of all, Charu, Shubman Gill got 100 on his captaincy debut, and what a moment that was. But he's been left with plenty of questions to answer, hasn't he?
I did mention earlier on Stump that Shubman Gill's captaincy is first and foremost all about his leading from the front and his scoring runs. Luckily, that has happened well for him. That first innings century, of course, I think he'd be a little upset with what happened in the second innings, personally speaking. But luckily, the captaincy hasn't disturbed his batting setup and played rather well. Captaincy-wise, there are, of course, lots of murmurs about how he hasn't started well, but surely he can't catch for everybody, he can't play for everybody, he can't bowl for the rest of the Indian bowlers apart from Bumrah. So we'll have to suggest that, it might have not looked extremely dynamic. But as I say always, it's a think tank. It's all the senior players, the coaches and others getting together and discussing strategy and tactics. So I really think that we need to take the blame away from one individual, and that to a captain who did rather well individually. Collectively, yes, it's a massive failure, and surely there'll be a lot of discussion along with Gambhir and the rest of the senior players about maybe team changes and, of course, the attitude. Maybe there was a dressing room instruction for the tail to hurry up a bit, get some runs so they could bowl or have enough time to bowl at England, which backfired a bit. I wouldn't judge Shubman Gill or his captaincy too harshly yet.
Yeah, I interviewed Shubman Gill immediately after the match, and he was putting a pretty brave face on things, at that point and wanting to highlight all the good things that did happen, one of which was India, being in an incredibly strong position, 400 odd for 3. And then we had Rishabh Pant scoring not 1 but 2 centuries. I mean, Jim, what a story that was in itself. He is some talent, isn't he? And entertained us with that somersault celebration as well.
Oh, he's a huge talent. But as Charu observed, they need to get just a few more runs out of the lower order. To collapse like that in both innings was, maybe unfortunate, whatever. But I think, unfortunately for India, as we saw in Australia, they rely so much on Bumrah to shake up the opposition. He didn't get a wicket in the second innings, and if they're going to rest him for the next test match, they've got some problems because I don't know how they're going to get England out twice on a good pitch following that rousing run chase. It was inspiring, absolutely inspiring. To win with 14 overs to spare, yeah. So well done, England. They're making a habit of these run chases in conditions that they enjoy at home particularly. And it's going to be a very good performance from India to come back and win the series now. So that was huge from Stokes and the England team. So well done to them. They've raised the bar a bit very early in the series, and they look threatening.
They certainly do. I mean, the dropped catches is one thing. The runs needed from the lower order is another. Jasprit Bumrah, Charu, is an interesting one because so much reliance is placed on him. Yet he wasn't used towards the back end of the run chase. I asked Shubman Gill about this. He certainly wasn't used, with the new ball. But, even when I think Jamie Smith first came out to bat, could have been a time. And he just simply said, I wanted to give opportunities to some others, which seemed a really curious thing to say. And then Bumrah was off the field at the end, but he was at great pains to say, no, he's not injured. He's fully fit. But, they've got to work out when to play him. Surely they need to keep playing him, because if they don't, the chances of England going 2-0 up just skyrocket, don't they?
Well, yes, but they can't bowl him constantly from one end, Alison. He has to have some kind of a break. And I think, just my own analysis, who knows why Shubman really didn't bowl him, because for him to answer, he seems to have come up with a wishy-washy reply. But I do think they pressed very hard with Bumrah to begin with. And when even he couldn't make a breakthrough, there was possibly a defensive suggestion about not straining him because there were no breakthroughs really, and just hoping for the best from the others, particularly, of course, Jadeja, because the ball was hissing and spitting when he bowled it into the foot marks. And They thought, well, maybe the others can do it, because if we overstrain Bumrah at this stage, considering that he's not really getting any breakthroughs, are we going to lose him for the next test or two because of over bowling him? So I'm sure Bumrah too might have indicated, listen, I'm not being able to do very much, and you might want to just get all the others to star as well, because they did get a couple of wickets each, and maybe that was the hope, to not over bowl Bumrah like a workhorse, despite the fact that he was not making any breakthroughs.
Well, let's get a player's perspective from events at Headingley from Indian international K.S. Bharat. Now, K.S. isn't part of the current squad, but he did play for India in last year's home test series against England and was part of India's squad for the 2023 World Test Championship final. K.S., welcome to Stumped. Tell us, what did you make of that test match overall?
It's a fantastic test match, and thank you for having me over. And I really enjoyed it. That's how I feel the test has to be played. I mean, getting a result on the last hour of the fifth day, I mean, that's very good cricket by both the sides.
Now, Shubman Gill's captaincy's come away on the end of a defeat, but how did you feel overall he handled things? And when you played alongside him, did you feel like he was a future Indian captain in waiting?
Yes, definitely. He had those qualities of a hunger captain. Like, he's always hungry for cricket and hungry to get runs. And he always enjoyed the responsibility, is what I believe. When I was with him, played a few test games alongside, and at the GT, Gujarat Titans, I was there. And we played India A's together starting from 2018. So he always had the passion in him. And yes, winning and losing is part of the game. One team has to win, one team has to lose. But the way both the teams operated throughout the 5 days is very commanding. I really liked to watch both the teams go after it.
The dropped catches would have hurt, though, wouldn't they?
Yes, I mean, end of the day, if you look into it, every decision matters. But yes, at this level, no one would like to drop a catch. But sometimes it happens. But I'm sure that Indian team will definitely look into it and come back stronger.
Quick question about Jasprit Bumrah. Now, we know he is India's biggest star, perhaps the best in the world, but you've kept to him. And each one of us has a theory about why he is so special. What's yours?
I mean, he's highly talented, skillful. I mean, you cannot deny the fact that his basics are very strong. See, everyone looks into the way he runs into his bowling action and stuff like that, but end of the day, it's the end basics which are strong. I mean, he has a strong wrist, he positions himself well towards the target, and whatever little I've encountered keeping wickets to him is he has a beautiful seam position. And end of the day, all it matters is the execution level, which is very, very high. I mean, he doesn't miss the target, he doesn't miss the lens most often. I mean, 95% is there. That's why he's very lethal.
Do you think there's a case for Bumrah to play all 5? Are we really that worried about his fitness? I know he's coming back from a long injury. Would India be in a position to actually leave him for a test match or two?
Charu, as far as I know, Bumrah, he wouldn't want to miss a game for the country because he's so passionate playing the sport. I mean, if his body is all right and if he feels confident about he can go, definitely he will go, irrespective of what the team management or the workload committee or whatever, like the strength and conditioning and the physios will take a better call. But see, when we play for the country, I mean, we're extremely, extremely hungry to play each and every game, because I've seen it, like England Test series last summer, then they wanted him to take a break, but he kept on pushing, no, I can play, I'm still fine, I can run hard, I can deliver you those wickets, and he's always wanting to play. But see, sitting from outside, we definitely don't know how things are running inside at the moment. But knowing Bumrah, if he's fit, if team needs him, I think he'll definitely play.
And K.S., final thought from wicketkeeper to wicketkeeper, Rishabh Pant, albeit coming out on the end of a loss, but twin centuries in the test match and his somersault celebration. I mean, is there anything you've ever tried in full pads and batting gear?
I wouldn't fancy to do a somersault, but very well played. I mean, both the innings, the way he kept going about it, I mean, he was there. He has always got hundreds away from home, and so he's a great player. So I'm very happy that it came out in the first test, and rooting for him for the rest of the tests as well.
Okay, so enjoy the rest of your stint with Dulwich. Thank you so much for being with us on Stumped. We're looking forward to the rest of the series as well to see how India recover. Well, that's all we've got time for on this week's Stumped. So I'll say thanks to Jim Maxwell and Charu Sharma, and to all of you for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Until then, bye for now.